Hey guys, my name is Agnes, and what you are about to watch is the second training session which I'm currently conducting for one of our clients. And if you have yet to watch the first session, you might want to check that out as well. So, in the previous session, we went through a lot more foundational stuff, a lot more of figuring things out that are specific to your business, and I gave a lot of examples as well. That really forms a really crucial and solid foundation for this session. Yeah, I really hope that this lead generation training helps you out no matter what size your business is at. So I've created a playlist of all these sessions. If there are subsequent sessions, I will also be updating the playlist accordingly. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's get started.
Money.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming back to the second session. I take it as a compliment that the first session was good. That's why you're here for more, right? It's like a Netflix,
Yeah,
binging session.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining me here today. And yeah, I think everyone's camera is on, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Just to quickly get started, let's have a very speedy recap first of the first session, right? We went through a lot of very foundational things. We
Mm,
started with the essential statement, the features, benefits, results. We also broke down the who, right? So there's actually more than one person that we can reach out to, and last but not least, we also have the list of problem signals, right? How can we actually try and see whether they have problems that we can solve and where we can even start to find the right pond to catch the right fish?
correct.
Okay, so that was the problem signals. And by the end of the session, the to do, the so called homework for everyone was to create a list of prospects.
Mm,
Okay, so that was for the first session. All right, so let's get started for today's session. So, for the list that you guys have created so far, don't throw it away, but let's just put it aside for now, right? Let's take a pause and continue the rest of today's session with a bit more of an open mind. Because I know what tends to happen for the second session is that you will always try to think, how can you apply this to your first session's work, which is the previous list that you have built. Okay, so try not to do that. You will get lost somewhere somehow, right? Let's go into this with an open mind first. At the end, when I send you guys the slide, then maybe you can start thinking of application from there. All right, so we are going to build on from the foundations of the first session. So if you recall from the very first session, we have this wonderful chart, right? Again, this is from the book $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozy. So this is not from me, right? Um, Let me just share with you what I actually recommend for companies that are just starting out, especially smaller businesses where resources is a very big issue. Okay, so what you can see on the screen right now is the ranking 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so as I've said in the previous session, I have not done paid advertising, so I placed it at number 4. Okay, that's the very simple reason. But in terms of 1, 2, and 3, this is how I would rank them. Okay, I have done the three of them, not just for my business, but also for me personally when I'm looking for connections, when I'm doing freelancing in the past, or now I from time to time I do consulting. I might find leads as well, right? Or even if we want to find people just to connect to somebody else, right? So I have done 1, 2, and 3. So I rank them this way in terms of level of difficulty. But again, this is my own personal opinion. Your opinion might be different, especially once you try out all three. Okay. My reasoning is really simple, which is if you reach out to somebody personally, right? So we are looking at the one-to-one part. If you reach out to somebody personally and that person knows you, but you can't even generate leads from there. How can you reach out to somebody personally where the person don't even know you and you are able to generate leads from there? Like, you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? So I always feel that going to people that you actually know, going to people who know you as well, gives you a bit of a higher chance because it takes away that pressure from yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing is you don't have to sell to them necessarily. You can just ask them, do you know someone? Right. So for me, that was a very huge deal because I was totally new to business. I was totally new to lead gen. I was very scared. I didn't know what to do. Right. So going to friends and family, going to people that I knew, that was the easiest. Right. So that's why I placed that at number one. And if we are looking at putting out content, okay, number two is free content. Number four is paid content. If you think about it, paid advertising is still creating your own piece of content, but you pay for who it gets shown to. That's basically the only difference between number two and number four. Okay. So my argument is that if you distribute content for free and no one is engaging, how likely is it that someone would engage if you spend money to put it in front of their face? Right? It to me it just feels like the chances are actually even lower. So that is one of the very big reason why I haven't tried paid advertising because I don't like to gamble. I don't want to try something. I would rather get good at creating free content first. And then after that, I will have the skills necessary to create an ad. Then I would, you know, experiment with paid ads. That is kind of my methodology, right? But you might also argue that is it because you don't have access to your ICP, right? Your ICP, your target customer, the list of influencers that you have, right? If you had access, would cold outreach not be a problem? Would paid ads not be a problem, right? So again, I'm not trying to debate anyone here. I'm just trying to share, right? This is all in my personal opinion, my own personal ranking. All right. So if I could rewind time, I would focus all my efforts on friends and family and creating free content. Okay, honestly, that's what I would do. And again, gentle reminder, I'm not saying that your list from last week is for nothing. It is for something. We are going to see how we can use it later, and I will share more on that in the next few slides. So let's start with the first method of lead gen, which is through friends and family. But when I ask people what is family, what is friends, what is your definition? Everyone kind of has a different definition. And when it comes to business, I think it's very dangerous when we don't define certain things. Okay. Because everyone has their own idea of what is X, what is Y. Okay. So let's start with the definition. To me, what qualifies under friends and family is as long as that person knows you, that person likes you, and that person trusts you. Okay? No like trust, no like trust. These are the three keywords when it comes to marketing, when it comes to lead gen. That's the only reason why people will even respond to you. Right? If you think about it. No like trust. Okay, so remember these three words. And when it comes to friends and family, how much they like you, trust you, and know you, it can honestly vary. It can be just a little bit, it can be a lot, it can be as long as it's not negative, I think it's totally fine. Okay. So when I say negative, I mean hate you, you know, despise you, feel like they are betrayed by you. As long as it's not a negative feeling, I think you can honestly just put them in here. Okay. So that is my definition of friends and family. So how should we build a list of friends and family? It's very easy. It's probably the easiest one. If you look at your phone, the list of contacts. If you look at your WhatsApp, every conversation that you have ever had, whether you use Telegram, whatever app you have used before, you have probably talked to someone before in your life, which you may not have seen them in a year, 2 year, 3 year. Okay? But you have spoken to them before. So if I were to ask them, hey, do you know this person? They'll probably be like, yeah, I know that person. But like I said earlier, right? Know, like, and trust can vary in different levels. It doesn't mean that they are not in this list. They are still in this list, just different levels. Okay. So if you look at the contacts in your phone, you look at all your email accounts. Okay. Don't put up and act as if you only have one email account. We all know we have at least 5 to 7 accounts. Rishi probably has 50 to 70 accounts. Okay, that is the truth. We all have a bunch of email accounts, and I know that is the truth. That is a piece of data that Google has released. We all have at least five, right? So if you look at all your email accounts, you look at who you have sent an email to or you have received an email from. Okay, we are gonna exclude all the co-emailers. We are gonna exclude all the promos, right? We are not gonna look at that. But honestly, that is a lot of people if you add all of them up. And on top of that, you have all your personal social media profiles, and God knows how many Instagram accounts you have, how many YouTube accounts you have, right? We can go on and on and on. So when people start a business and they're like, I don't know who to contact, the first thing I say is, that's BS. We all have a list of people to contact. It's only whether you want to or not.
True, true, true.
Okay, so I like to start here because even if I don't get leads, I get people who will help me get leads, right? Because my cousin cares about me, right? My friends want to help me. So I at least want to let them know, hey, I'm looking for XYZ. Right now I'm doing this thing. Okay, so that's kind of my mentality when I'm going into my list. Okay. So, my objective when I'm talking to my friends and family is that I just want to let them know my essential statement. You look back at your very first session, the very first thing that I shared with you guys, right? What you do for who to achieve what. That's the bare minimum I want to share with people, right? Whether I'm selling them something or not totally is irrelevant. I'm just sharing with you. Now I'm doing this thing for who so that they can achieve what. That's my main objective. But obviously, my end goal is to get leads. It can be themselves. Sometimes you might be surprised, right? They might call me a month later. Hey, I need a website done. Hey, I need this thing done. Right. But at that point of time when I was telling them that I have this business, I'm doing this, they just said okay. Right. So don't underestimate whether a lead will come at that point of time. 1 month later, it might even happen 1 to 2 years later. Okay, so that is what I would do for this one. And yeah, I want to share a little story as well. When I first started my entrepreneurship journey, I actually had a startup called Sabisu. It's where I met Rishikesh for the first time because he was one of the developers that worked with us to create my marketplace app. And the funny thing about it was that I didn't dare to tell my family about it, which is weird. If you think about it, right? Like you pump in money for this startup. You spend 12 to 16 hours a day working on this startup. And I was working 6 to 7 days a week on that startup. Why was it that I did not dare to tell my family about it? My family and friends, right? I did tell some of my friends what I was doing, but I also never asked if they would be interested or if they had known someone that might be interested, right? So I reflect on that point of time in my life a lot. Why? Why was it that I was ashamed or was I embarrassed? Like, what was it, right? And then I realized it was very simple. I just didn't believe in what I was selling. Honestly, I wasn't even sure what it was. I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know whether what I claimed it could do would happen or not, right? I might be delusional. I might be lying to myself even. So that was kind of what I realized. But today, the conversation that I have for Saw, my agency, is very different because I know how the tech that we build can help a business. I know what a simple website redesign can do to their revenue numbers. Like I have done it before. I know the results. I believe in it. So it comes very naturally. It doesn't feel like I'm selling. It kind of feels like if you believe me, great. If you don't, that's your loss. That's kind of the mindset that I have. Okay. So if these three words are in your head, I don't want to reach out to that friend that I haven't spoke to in 2 years. I don't want to reach out to my third cousin. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I would suggest that you go back to the previous session, really take a long hard look at the features, benefits, results table. Okay, you guys can even have your own internal meetings as well to talk about like your different experiences as recruiters, as when you really help people to land jobs and they actually enjoy their job, or they finally get paid at the salaries that they really deserve, right? When they finally get out of a toxic work environment, like all of these are very life-changing situations, but I feel that we are probably not writing them down. We are not saying them out loud. But I'm pretty sure we all have that kind of experience, whether it's something crazier or something a bit more mild. But it doesn't excuse the fact that a service like this can really change someone's life, or it can change a business's trajectory as well. Okay. And yeah, like I said in the last session, you also cannot sell what you don't know. Right. So same thing as my agency, not agency, my first startup. I couldn't sell because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was very simple. I tried my best, but yeah, I can lie to everyone. I couldn't lie to myself. Okay. So, how should we start reaching out to friends and family? Always start with due diligence. Always, always, always. Okay. And due diligence doesn't have to be something that complicated. Just check their social media accounts. You probably can find something, right? Just check their business. If they own a business, go to the business website. At least you are more informed than you were 3 minutes ago. Okay. If they are not the boss, maybe they are working at a new company. Just check out the company. What does the company do? What's the size of it? You might even go to Glassdoor and find their salary. You don't know. Like how in-depth and personal can you really get? Right. And the reason why you want to do your due diligence is we always need a reason to reach out to someone. Okay. Even sometimes Rishi calls me at 9:30 p.m. in the evening and I ask him why, what you want? And he say nothing. I on the spot I want to hang up already. You don't come and disturb me at 9:30 p.m. at night for no reason. Is it because you miss me? Even missing me is a reason. Right? You guys see what I'm saying? That's how the human brain works. We all know there's a reason why we do something. So don't act like it was out of thin air that the god suddenly dial my phone to call you. There is no way that happens. Okay? So find a reason. Okay? Social media has made it very easy to do that. Just find a reason. Okay. The next thing, point number two, have a conversation, and I added the two words after a while. I added that two words, which is and actually care. Actually act like you care, even if you don't care, act like it. Okay, chat with them because yeah, another story in Singapore. There's this trend. I wouldn't call it a trend, but there's this freelance career called the financial advisor or insurance agent. Rishi, you probably know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, so basically, I have a ton of friends from university. Never talked to them in my life, but somehow we are connected on Instagram, right? We just follow each other and like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy walk past me before. That kind of university friend. So they have the audacity to pick up the phone and call me 2 years after graduation. Hey Agnes, do you remember me? I'm like, who are you? Oh, I am John from this class. Oh, we were at this university. Remember, we took the same degree? And obviously, I will say, yes, I remember, even though I don't. Right. And then after 2 minutes of talking, the real question comes in. Oh, I'm actually, an insurance agent now. I was wondering whether you are interested in buying insurance. Right. So that is kind of the trend that was happening, especially a few years ago. But by now, I think a lot of them have already quit,
Mm,
right? And they are probably looking for a full time job, or they have went back to corporate job. Okay. So it was a very sad period where we would actually text each other like, "Hey, you know John from our uni? Yeah, he's now an insurance agent. I think he's gonna call you now. So yeah, if you don't want, don't answer." Right? That is how sad the situation is. But I'm pretty sure their managers and their supervisors have trained them to do warm outreach.
yeah.
Right? It's very obvious. They have trained them to do warm outreach, but they have done it in the wrong way. Personally,
Mm,
that's what I think.
mm,
Right? You don't call someone to ask for something, especially when you barely talk to the person. You don't even know their last name. I literally asked John, "What's my surname?" He couldn't answer. I hung up the phone. As simple as that. Right? So there are a lot of ways to do outreach. There are a lot of ways to do lead gen. But again, like I said, it has to fit your personality. It
mm,
didn't fit mine to do it that way. But it fit his. So that was fine. That was his problem, right? It's his business after all.
mm,
So for all of you here, same thing. Just look out for things that make you feel uncomfortable. Some of it you can actually work around that. You don't have to force yourself to be this master, caller, cold caller, just dial and like trying to outsmart the person. You don't have to do that if you're not comfortable. Okay. Another thing I mentioned before in the first session is that if you really understand what you're selling, you know that you're just trying to help. That's the most important thing that changed the way I talk to people as well. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, the concept that I shared with you guys earlier, the one where the insurance agent John call people, right? That is what I call the pump and dump. I don't know how common that term is in the world of sales, but from the name you can kind of guess what it means, right? You want to pump up the person, and if they don't buy, you kind of just dump them. To me, that is not warm outreach. That is still cold. You are treating them just like a cold outreach. Right? So zero respect for the person. You don't look at the person as a person. You look at them as a chance to make money. And trust me, that person can feel it as well. It's very obvious. And you guys probably have similar experiences, whether it's with friends or strangers. Right? We just have that kind of alarm in our bodies. We can feel it from a mile away. Okay. So I swore to never do that to my clients or to my connections. Right. But I leave it up to you guys whether that is for you or not. All right, so that's the second step, which is to have a conversation and care. And for the third step, you basically just want to know how everything is going with them. So the reason why this is a special step and it's not in part two, right, is because part two, you need to mention what you found in part one. Okay, so let me just give you an example so that you guys are not too confused. So, part one, I go to Rishi's Instagram account. Right? I saw that he had got a new dog, for example. Right? So in my conversation, I would probably call Rishi or I just private message him on Instagram, right? And I would say like, "Oh, you had a new dog. You got a new dog. Like, oh my god, I love dogs." I literally just start a conversation, and Rishi will probably respond to me because I've never sold him anything before. And in my message, I mentioned nothing about anything that indicates I'm going to sell him something. I literally just start a conversation. You posted that photo. Hey, you got a new dog. Oh my God, I love dogs. And the conversation will flow from there, right? If you were Rishi, you would probably reply me, yeah, it's I don't know what's a species of a dog, but it's a Labradoodle. It's a mix between a Labrador and a Doodle. Ha ha ha. Something like that. right? And he would probably ask me, "Do you have dogs?" And I would say, "No, because I have asthma. My mother hates dogs because she finds that they are so dirty, blah blah blah." So we will actually start a conversation. So at this point, it's not even about whether I really like dogs or not. I might be lying, but Rishi doesn't know that, right? I'm just trying to have a conversation and I'm trying to care about what he has to say. Okay? So I'm not trying to put on like this master salesman. I'm trying to manipulate him into buying something. I literally just saw a picture of his dog.
Right.
Okay, so I hope you guys see what step two really is like. And step three, then I want to ask him about his personal life or his professional life, right? It depends on how close you are with that person. Um, yeah, so it could be like, oh, where are you working at now? Right? Then Rishi would probably just answer me because we started a conversation before that. Right? So he will continue. That's just human nature. You will just continue the conversation. So he would tell me that, oh, I'm working at this Japanese car manufacturing company. Then I would just continue the conversation. So it's just being as human as possible. But it might feel weird because, like, oh, I'm supposed to do lead gen. you know?
Right.
So there's this disconnect. And I struggled with that for a very long time. I always felt like, oh, I'm being so unproductive, just chit chatting with people all day long. This is such a waste of my time. I need to make money, I need to hustle. But one thing I forgot is that all of this was supposed to make me money eventually.
Mm.
Right? So that is the whole point of warm talking to your friends and family. To learn how to have conversations, how to not show up as a salesman. Okay? So once in step three, I have kind of understood like what he's doing, where he is right now. If the conversation goes well, wouldn't Rishi ask me back, what about you? Then
Yeah.
at that point, I'll start cracking my neck, crack the knuckles in my fingers. Okay, it's my time to shine. So that is when I would share what I'm doing. You see, it's not that complicated, right? If you think about it, it's
What if
very
what if
natural.
they don't ask
Unlikely.
and they keep the phone? It's like, bro, call me, bro. You don't ask. What?
Okay, in the worst case scenario, let's say they don't ask, right? They are so full of themselves, they keep talking and talking and talking,
Mm,
right? Because my boyfriend probably is that kind of a person. He can talk about himself for half a day.
mm,
Okay. So what I might do, I have this so-called technique which is called ACA.
okay.
Okay. So A, the first A stands for acknowledge.
Mm,
So yeah, wow, your career at this Japanese manufacturing car company sounds exciting.
mm,
It sounds so stressful, but it sounds so exciting,
mm,
right? So first I acknowledge. That's my first A. Then C is to compliment. Yeah, you're the craziest guy I know lah. I know you like that type of rush. That's why you are in this career. So I'm very happy for you. It sounds like you are thriving, and this place is the place for you.
mm,
So I will compliment him. And then A is I would actually ask him a question, but that question has to lead to something that I am going to talk about. Okay, so what that means is, for example, I'm selling websites, right? So
mm,
I might ask him, "Hey, bro, your company got website or not?"
mm,
So that would be my question.
mm,
So Rishi's answer might be, "Have, but it looks like shit." What? When the boss first showed it to me, oh my god, I thought I could use it in my sales pitch. I thought
mm,
I would put it in my name card, but when I saw it, I was like, nah, I'm good. So I
mm,
created my own pitch deck. I blah 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 blah. So he will start talking, 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 talking. And then same thing, ACA. Oh, the website look like shit. Really? And then I will compliment him. Wow, hey, you must be really good at sales.
mm,
You know that you could actually use the website as a tool to sell.
mm,
Wow, kudos to you, man. So I'll compliment him and then I'll ask him another question. But as you can see, my questions are just gonna move him closer and closer towards what I wanted to ask.
yeah.
Have you all thought about this redoing your website? How come they never redo their website? You know, so I start getting more and more information. So
Mm,
even for people who don't ask you back, even for people who like to talk about themselves, I'm going to encourage them to talk more,
mm,
but I kind of just move the conversation closer to what I want to talk about. So if it's recruitment agency, I will probably ask, "Oh, are you the only guy on the sales team? How big is your team?" Very easy.
mm,
Start to move there. Oh, so you guys have 3 business development managers and you have 2 sales guy including yourself. So there's 5 people. Wow. How much sales do y'all generate?
mm,
You know, have you all tried digital marketing? Why? Why didn't you try digital marketing? And you know, there's this thing called remote BD.
mm,
Yeah, I kind of just moved the conversation there.
mm,
But at the end of the day, I'm just chatting. I'm just chatting with my friend whom I haven't chatted with in a very long time. Okay, so that's kind of like my so-called technique. I don't even like to call it technique because it feels like I'm manipulating people, right? But honestly, I'm trying to help them with my solution.
Just
That's
consider just
yeah,
consider it as a help, and I think so.
correct.
It's a good
That's
feeling.
the most important part, right? So yeah, you won't get that what is it called, snake oil salesman kind of
Yeah.
vibe. Okay, so once you have shared with them what you do, right? So I might tell Rishi, "Eh, actually, Rishi, you know, I'm starting to do web design and development.
Mm,
You know, and I'm actually looking for companies like yours who want to use their website as a sales tool and not just this, you know, poster thing where you post online and you never visit it ever again. You know, so I feel like we're kind of aligned in that case. Oh, I actually did a website for this other car company, but they're not a car manufacturing company, but they are an automobile company. And this is, you know, what they did, what I did for them. Let me share with you the domain. You know, you can take a look at the website your own. This is what I did with them. Or let me send you a screenshot of the before of the website. You know, so these are some of the case studies that I've done. Do you think so? Your business would want to do something like this as well? Because I would really appreciate the opportunity. You see how natural it is for me to ask. Well, I'm literally trying to help this guy. He's in sales. He wants to use the website, but he can't. And I have the solution. I literally did it for somebody else.
mm,
Right. And by me sharing the company's name, there's a chance that it might be their competitor. It's just I don't know. But
mm,
he knows in his head, he'll be like, oh, competitor number 3. Right. So it's very natural for me to ask. And ultimately, they will just give me one of 3 responses, right? They will say, yes, I would need your help. Like, that sounds amazing. Great. In that case, I will probably say like, okay, in the next week, I can probably onboard, you know, 1 or 2 more clients. But after that, I'm at my max. I don't want to, you know, have like 5 to 10 clients at one go and then I produce a shitty product. That's not how I want to start my business. Right. So I let him know I have this max capacity of 1 to 2. But I also made it very clear, right? There's a reason behind it. I want to do my best. Okay. And then if I'm not that close to Rishi, right? Let's say he's this long lost friend from university, right? From 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. I might want to add one more sentence, which is, you know, if you want to recommend me to your boss, I can even do this for free or at a huge discount or whatever it is. Or because I just want a few things. First, I really want your feedback on my work. Number 1. Number 2, I would really appreciate if you can leave me an amazing review and testimonial if you think I deserve one. So I'm going to give you for free and discount, but it's not because I'm desperate. I just want to make it very clear it's because I want the testimonial, right? So I have a reason for every answer that I give. I just want to make it very clear. I'm not being desperate here. I don't desperately need your business. I want to help you, and in return, here's how you can help me. Right. And if I do it for free, if I do it for a discount, not only will Rishi look good to his boss, he can also tell him, we just need to give a video testimonial, for example. Like, we just need to do this, we just need to do that. Oh, then in the human mind, they are able to justify, oh, okay, so I do it at a discount or for free. In return, I need to do this other thing. Okay, it makes sense. But if you don't justify that, they're gonna be like, why? Right? That's how the human brain works.
Works, yeah.
So if you walk past a lot of store, there are so many stores I've walked past closing down sale. After 2 years, they are still there closing down sale. Right? You need
Right.
a reason to have a sale. Oh, we are closing down. But somehow for 2 years, you are still closing down. So that is a scam,
Mhm.
obviously. But for us, we don't have to scam. It might be the truth, right? I can only take on 5 more hiring companies for PR connections, right? In the next 2 weeks, I can only take on 5 more because for five, they usually have 2 to 3 positions that they want to hire for. That is 10 to 15 applicants that I need to look for, right? And for PR connections, how many applicants can you guys really look for and make sure that they're high quality? You guys still need to make sure that the JDs are well done. You are really clear with what the hiring company needs. There's so many things that you guys need to do,
Right.
right? So there is a certain limit of what you can take. Just make sure you tell other people what it is.
Right.
We don't have to lie what the number is. There is a number.
Right.
Okay? So there's something that you guys can do. So that is the first response when they say yes.
Right.
Okay. Second response is when they say no, but I might know someone who needs it instead.
Mm.
Okay. So that's the beauty of talking to your friends and family.
Mm.
They don't just say no and they hang up the phone. They're not going to be super rude to you, not like when you are talking to absolute strangers. Okay. They might even refer you to someone. Even if they don't refer you to someone on the spot, they might refer you to someone 1 month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later. Okay. And that has actually happened to me. I have gotten referrals 1.5 year later,
Mm.
which is kind of weird, but it's okay. We will take it. Okay. So if that is the case, let's say they want to introduce you to someone, try not to just ask them, okay, can you give me their contact details? Try not to, like, leave that as the last resort. But if you can, tell them, okay, do you have your phone with you right now? Okay, let's say you're on a phone call, right? Just ask him, can you call the person in? Like, we can have this teleconference, right? And then maybe I can continue the conversation from there. Because right now we are in the flow, right? I thought it would be best if we do that. Maybe you can give that a try. Okay. But maybe we are on WhatsApp message. Oh, can you actually create a group chat for the three of us? So that he knows that, I'm not this robot or something. Right. So if it were me, that's what I would ask. And most of the time they honestly don't mind. Okay? Because these are people that know you, right? They're supposed to know, like, and trust you. Okay. But worst case scenario, they might say, no, I don't have time right now, or no, I think it feels weird. They say, okay, it's okay. Can you just send me their phone number? Can you just send me their email? Can you just, share their profile with me? Something along that line. So the best is to just get their phone numbers. Okay.
Yep.
So that is the second response. And the last response that they might give is they might just say, no, I'm not interested, which is still okay. It is okay because no is still an answer, right? Or they might also say, I'm not sure. Let me check. Okay. Which is also fine. So just respond in a way that, you are gracious, you are nice, You are not expecting anything. Like it is a bonus if they do say yes. That's kind of the mentality that I have. So I might just say, okay, no problem. I'm just trying to build my case studies and testimonials now. So we are trying to do as many as we can for free or at this discount price, whatever it is, right? If you happen to know someone, could you just let me know? Right. So very chill, very natural. I'm just asking. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bonus is if I have, it's not a loss if I don't get anything. Right. So that is the third response. One thing that is different though, if you see this asterisk here, right? It doesn't apply to emails. Because nowadays no one has a conversation through emails. Right? We call, we message, we direct message on social media. We might send voice notes, whatever it is, but we do not converse through emails. So for emails, right, you can just be more straightforward. Just ask them, do you have this problem? Or, do you know someone who has this problem? Because I'm actually starting this thing. That's why I wanted to ask whether you knew someone or whether it's yourself, blah, blah, blah. Right. So for email, just same thing, due diligence always there, and then tell them straight, why are you reaching out? What do you want? Right? And then third, just ask them very nicely, do you happen to know someone? Or is that you? Okay. And then leave your contact details. My name, my company's website, this is my email address, this is my phone number, blah blah blah. All right. So
Yep.
that is okay. So what's your guess?
Do I
What
have
do
to
you
follow up?
guys think? Yeah.
Uh, do I have to follow up? Yes.
Yes. Does everyone think that the answer is yes?
It depends on
Mm.
what the
Yes.
friend answers. Sometimes I guess if it's a straight no, or if the person is not at all interested,
Mm.
uh, I guess then follow up doesn't,
Doesn't make sense, right? In that case.
yeah, doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Okay. So that is a very good answer. If the person blatantly told you no, please don't continue to keep asking. Okay? It's not only annoying, you give them a reason to now negatively know, like, and trust you.
Unblock you.
Yes. Why would you do that? So if like I said earlier, right? Yes is the best answer. Maybe is still okay. There's still hope. The next good answer is no. Outright reject me so that I can move on with my life. The worst is when they don't give you an answer at all.
And not try to sell something else, right?
No.
Okay.
Don't try to sell anymore. But anyway, yeah, the short answer here is yes, follow up. Only if you have a need or a reason to. Okay, if they say no, I'm not interested, it's fine. If you want to follow up, it's fine, but don't sell the same thing. Don't talk about the same thing. They already said no.
Mm,
Why not talk about something else? If you want to make them know, like, and trust you more, talk about something else. Then it's fine. You can follow up any way you want. Okay. And another thing is that how you follow up depends on who you are talking to, like how close you guys are, and on what platform. Right. How you follow up on emails, how you follow up on phone calls, WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's also different because people use all those methods of communication for different reasons. Okay. So when they don't respond to anything that you say,
mm,
if it's a phone call, just call again.
mm.
Yeah, as simple as that. If you're calling your mother or your sister or your whoever and they don't answer, wouldn't you just call them again later?
That will.
So it's the same thing. Don't overthink this. Be human. That's about it. Right. And if you message them and they don't respond, just message again. Right. And if you email them and they don't reply back, just send another follow-up email. Just keep it chill. Don't overthink it. Okay? Because it's like a gentle reminder. We don't know why they didn't respond. So we just want to pop in again. That's it. Okay. But the tricky part is if, let's say, they first responded that they were actually interested, and then they don't respond after that. That's where the tricky part comes in. Right. So if they said that they were interested, all I would ask is, are you still interested? A very simple method of asking, whether it's through email, even email. I have sent just one sentence before. Are you still interested? Full stop. End of story. Right? Because the email thread is at the bottom. Okay. And if they said that they would send someone else's details, like they have someone in mind, but then they don't actually send you, then I would just tell them, hey, can you please send me the details? Because you literally said that you would do it, you know? So I'm just going to remind them again. So everything is very chill. Okay. One thing I do want to mention though is that if you are really close to them, if you really don't want to lose them, or if you really don't want to impact your relationship with them, please prioritize the relationship. Okay? It might sound silly, but it happens, right? That's the tricky thing about lead gen, because it's so closely related to like having relationships with people. You are actually communicating with a human being. It's very easy to impact a relationship. So if you want to keep that person, please stop selling every 10 days to that same person. Okay? No matter how good you think the product is, um yeah, a very tricky conversation. So for me personally, right? Just personally, I'm not asking you guys to do this, but I have prioritized my business over the people in my life. Yeah, I'm just gonna be very straightforward about this. I want to be honest with everyone. Okay. I have sold to everyone that I could, and I don't care whether they leave my life or not. Okay. Because for me, what I choose to believe is that those who mind won't matter and those who matter won't mind. So my immediate family members, I have asked them a million times before. I have told them a million times before. I will continue to do that. Because I know they won't leave me. Like, how can you leave me, right? We are literally related by blood. We are immediate family members. I see you guys so much throughout the year. Okay, so that is my own genuine belief. And the few friends that I have that still remain in my life, they are still referring people to me. Okay, just something for you guys to really think about. If your friends and family really, really are close, they really want you to succeed, they will be your loudest cheerleader. Or at least that is what I believe. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. I'm not asking anyone to go and cut relationships with everyone that they know. Okay, your own personal life, you get to decide. And that brings me.
Brother, if you don't give me the sale, I don't talk to you anymore. I've not tried that in a very long time. I should do this again.
Yeah, you should try.
Start with mom first.
Yes. There's no way your mother will disown you for trying to sell. Okay, that's what I want to say. All right, and this brings me to the next slide, which is keeping your list warm. Okay, so if you remember in the chart, there is a spectrum of cold to warm, or cold to hot, right? So warm can have a lot of meaning. Lukewarm is also warm. Hot-ish warm is still warm. Okay, so your best friend might still be considered warm. So it's a very relative term. Again, there's no way I can tell you for sure. You are the only one who can kind of have this gauge in your heart. How cold or how warm, how hot, is your list. All right. But one thing that is important is that you need to keep your list warm. And what I actually mean by this, right? is you need them to continue to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay? So if you have chatted with them before, chat again. Whether it's via phone call, whether it's via text, whether it's a direct message, or you can even ask them, do you want to just jump on a video call? I've actually jumped on video calls with people from LinkedIn that I've never met from real life. Like they're from US or whatever, right? We just jump on a video call and we just talk. It's as if I meet them at Starbucks or something. Right. Uh, or if you want, in future, you might have a lot of connections, right? You can even meet them face to face for coffee or for lunch. And that is something that I do very often as well. Because, anyways, I will have to drink coffee. Anyways, I will have to have lunch. Anyways, I will have to have dinner. Anyways, I will still go to the gym. So I might find someone to just go to the gym with me. So that is my point. It's actually not that hard to do lead gen. It's only how you do it and what your perception of lead gen is. It is not this evil monster where you have to do something you don't like to sell, 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 sell. Okay? Another very simple thing you can do is send gifts, whether it's on Christmas, New Year's, their birthday, or when you see that they have some form of business achievement. It doesn't have to be expensive. Like the CTO that I shared with you guys in the last session, right? The first time I met him was at this specialty coffee place. Right. So I know that this guy likes his coffee because I had no idea how to pronounce anything on the menu. Right. I had to ask the barista what is something that is not that strong because I can't sleep at night and something that's not too sour and with tons of milk. That is the kind of coffee drinker I am. I drink the two-in-one ready-made packet. Okay, I have no idea about Ethiopian beans or the cat poop coffee bean, whatever. No idea. Okay, but that CTO is this some kind of connoisseur. You can call him a connoisseur. He loves his coffee and he has a coffee machine at home. Okay, so that was something that I learned. So one day I sent him a bag of coffee beans from this, I don't know what brand, that's from Africa. I have no idea what it is. It looks like it's some specialty beans. It made me think of him. Let me buy a packet. I deliver it to his company. I don't know where he stay, right? So I just send it to his company. Okay, so very simple things. It doesn't have to be this like crazy level of networking. Where you have to spend thousands of dollars. You don't have to do that. Okay, you can even share resources, like maybe a meme of something. I had someone send me a meme because it was related to something we talked about. That was it. Something very small. Or it can be a post, some articles, uh, this PDF guide. They saw it and then they were like, "Hey, I saw this thing." And in the last conversation, you told me that you were struggling with this thing. I thought this might help. I don't know if this will help, but I hope it helps. Full stop, end of story. So the whole point of trying to keep your list warm, like I said, is to maintain that know, like, and trust. Right? Because with time, right, as time go past, the know, like, and trust will start to fall. You want to at least maintain that. If you can, increase that. That is about it. Right. So this is a very weird slide for me to create because it's like me telling you that, hey, remember to be human. Hey, remember to keep your social life alive. Very weird slide for me to create, but I had to create it because we are talking about friends and family. You want to keep the list warm. Okay. And you guys have also probably heard of the term that your network is your net worth, right? So this is where the entire concept comes from. Don't just think about the next sale, the ultimate sale. I want a sale now, now, now. Okay? Usually, your most valuable clients, they buy from you for 5 years straight, but it might not be today. And I don't know about you, for 5 years, I would take that any day. Okay. And I think it is safe to say that this works because you remember the second guy that I shared from the first session, the restaurateur? So he was actually someone referred to me by my cousin. Okay. So I literally reached out to my cousin. I just shared with her what I was doing. I shared with her about SAW, the projects that we were taking on. And 2.5 years ago was the first time she referred me to this guy. Can you imagine 2.5 years ago? And since then, we have done websites, we have done menu designs, we have done card designs, stickers, posters, logos, so on and so forth. And right now, hopefully, we can do the CRM membership app with them, right, Rishi?
Yep.
So the only thing that I did with him is that first of all, I treat him like a friend, not like a cash cow. Second of all, I maintain a relationship with him through WhatsApp because I know that's something that he's probably comfortable with, right? And some small things that he might realize or not realize is that sometimes I don't know where to go to eat for dinner. Sometimes I have to meet a client outside. I don't know where to go, right? I suggest his restaurants, his cafes, his bars. Why not, right? If I have to dine out anyways, why not support a friend? So that is kind of the mindset that I have when it comes to networking or connecting, whatever you want to call it. It's actually not as difficult as you think it is.
Mm.
Okay. And every time I go to his restaurants with a bunch of people, new people, I just ask them for feedback as well. Like, so what do you think about the food? What do you think about the place? Will you come back again? And then I just share the feedback with him. It's as simple as that. Like, hey, I know I went to this place with this CTO and this CFO. We ordered this, and they really love this thing, but they don't really like this other thing. It's just a small feedback. If he wants to use it, he can use it. If he doesn't, it's fine. But I would imagine that if I was a business owner, any small feedback is still feedback. It will still be valuable in some way. Right? So that's how I give, I support, how I treat someone as my friend. Okay. And in return, he probably doesn't realize it, but he has spent so much money with us already. Even though it took 2.5 years, he has spent a lot of money with us. And I don't expect it to slow down anytime soon. But even if it does, will it affect my friendship with him? Probably not. So that is my whole point, right? You want to build this long list of contacts of friends that can actually use your services, that can actually buy from you, can benefit from you, and you can also buy from them and support them in one way or another. To me, that is what a relationship should be like. Okay. Any questions so far? Everything good?
All good.
All understandable, right? I hope that it was not
All good.
too I hope that it wasn't too high level because it's actually very difficult for me to explain how to form a relationship with a human being, right? But most importantly, you are trying to help someone, you're not selling something that doesn't work, right? So work on that, right?
Yeah.
Move with that.
Yeah.
No matter how awkward you feel, like even if, like for Pusha and Sabia, right?
Mm.
PR connections might not be your business. Saw might not be your business. And I totally understand that. But business development is a career.
Mm.
Okay. Business development is literally something you have to develop.
Mm.
It's supposed to be long term. You are not here as like a salesman at a car show. You are not here as a salesperson at a retail store. You're not just there to sell at that point of time. Okay, if you guys really want to do this as a career, whatever connections you form today, it will follow you tomorrow. It will follow you next year. It will follow you in 5 years because it is Piyusha's um, friends and family. It is Sabia's friends and family, right? It doesn't actually stay with the business, right? And as founders, like for Priyanka, for Rishi, for myself, same thing. The connection follows us. Even if one day I might sell Saw, I don't know, right? But my connections don't continue with Saw. I still have their contacts. They still like me. I still like them. We are still friends. We are still family, right? It actually follows you. So reconsider the way you are looking at lead gen.
Mm.
Okay. This is a very big game changer for I think everyone. It takes away a lot of pressure.